An urgent audience with a princess of the German aristocracy was requested of the Holy Office of the Vatican in the most unusual of ways. Princess Caterina was a newbie to the Sant'Ambrogio monastery in Rome, which she had recently escaped out of fear for her life, and she had a terrible story to share with the Vatican. Princess Caterina revealed things the Catholic Church could hardly believe in, not as a whining member of the nobility. Mass sexual transgression, a personality cult, weird self-punishment, and attempted murder all contributed to the establishment of the Vatican Inquisition. Today, we look at the horrifying secrets in the Inquisition of the Sant'Ambrogio scandal. A supposedly scandalous book was released in the year 2015 by reputable publisher Knopf. A scandal involving sex, poison, and lesbianism that occurred under the Roman Catholic Church in the 19th century was described on the book's jacket as the Nuns of Sant'Ambrogio by German author Hubert Wolff. The book was far from a gossip publication or a work about hypothetical controversies, even though it was billed as little more than snark and provocative reading. Hubert Wolff, the author, spent a lifetime learning about theology and the Roman Catholic Church before being called as a priest in the year 1985. The book is so far removed from fiction and so immersed. It has endnotes of over 70 pages from academic sources. Wolff had not invented events to increase sales. Instead, he had consulted the Vatican Archive, the most trustworthy repository for all things Roman Catholic. A long-forgotten document of an official inquisition into ludicrous claims against the little Catholic church in a neighborhood of Rome was found inside the archive. Sant'Ambrogio della Massima, located in Rione Sant'Angelo, Rome, is generally believed to have been built sometime in the 4th century. The building's lengthy history goes on and on. The church was established in honor of Saint Ambrose. It is thought that St. Ambrose's farmstead was on the exact location where the church now stands before he was elected Bishop of Milan. Surprisingly, the degree of the historical relationship doesn't stop there. It was thought that the residence of the St. Ambrose family was erected upon the remains of a Hercules honoring temple. No, this is not a work of fiction. Archaeologists have found parts of the temple that are still intact underneath the structure. When the church was turned over to the Benedictines at the beginning of the 16th century, it would stand for nearly 1,000 years before undergoing its first renovation. Giacomo della Porte, a renowned Italian architect, would add to the church's building in 1578. The relatively obscure church is thought to have undergone reconstruction in the 17th century before being unoccupied during the Napoleonic Wars. In 1814, after the Franciscan nuns had moved in, they would reopen the church. Yet only 2 years later, scandal and subsequent convictions would strike the Franciscan nuns that called the church home. A botched launch for a quirky founder, the Roman Catholic Church was facing an institutional allegation of impiety, or as you would more likely call it, fake holiness, during the time of the St. Ambrogio scandal in the 19th century. Sister Agnes Firao initiated the St. Ambrogio Franciscan Covenant. Sister Firao, the first abbess, had a divine reputation when she assumed her position. Sister Firao had achieved near fame thanks to her amazing healing powers and admirable acts of piety. But in an era weary of fake holiness, many questioned whether she truly possessed the supernatural powers she had claimed. If there is one thing that Sister Agnes Firao cannot have, it is that she didn't take her job seriously. Firao appears to be a fanatical zealot through reports gleaned from the Vatican Archive, the kind you'd assume were extinct in antiquity. In Wolff's book, Firao is depicted wearing an iron mask loaded with nails and bearing heavy stones on her tongue as punishment. Sister Firao clearly enjoys self-mortification, and the sainthood she brought with her quickly disappeared. Firao was expelled from the covenant she had established at her personal request of Pope Pius VII. However, this was just the start of the problems. Maybe the involvement of German royalty isn't the first thing that comes to mind when controversy affects the Catholic Church. As a descendant of long-established German aristocracy, Princess Katharina was born in 1817 into the house of Hohenlohe-Waldenburg-Schillingsfürst. Beyond the two marriages that rendered Katharina widowed, little is known about her precise means of subsistence. Princess Katharina joined the convent, maybe motivated by her religion. her shattered heart, and her desire for direction as a result of the harsh twists of fate that left her childless and widowed after 2 marriages. Princess Katharina took herself to the Sant'Ambrogio della Massima with humility and as a novice, and couldn't believe what she discovered. Princess Katharina was shocked and horrified to observe power abuses and occultic personalities within the monastery. However, when the princess voiced her displeasure over such topics, things took a sinister turn. Katharina developed serious illness not long after raising her concerns. The princess was taking no chances since she was persuaded that her illness was the result of poisoning. She sent a message to her cousin Gustav Adolf, who had a property in Tivoli, Lazio, out of fear for her safety. As soon as he heard the news, Adolf had her taken from the convent, and while she was recuperating in Villa d'Este, Katharina met Benedictine monk Maurice Walter. The monk was told everything by the princess, and his response was crystal clear. The Holy Office needed to be alerted. When Katharina did so, an investigation that revealed the unthinkable ensued. In 1859, Princess Katharina informed the Holy Office of abuses, which resulted in an inquisition. Curiously, with Sister Fidel's arrest and exile, the necessity for inquisition seems to have been resolved decades earlier. As fate would have it, Fidel's expulsion only strengthened her reputation as a saint in the eyes of her supporters. It's very amazing how Sister Fidel, although being exiled, was nevertheless able to manipulate and control the convent through clandestine correspondence to people inside. Princess Katharina charged that Fidel's followers had been involved in depravity as a result of her self-mortification. There were a number of outrageous allegations of sexual misbehavior against the convent among the almost unending list of sins, including attempted murder, that Katharina was accusing. Sister Maria, the nun in charge of introducing the new information, delighted in immoral behavior that was tainted by religion, much like something out of a Victorian erotic novel. Sister Maria would engage in sexual encounters with her own nuns as part of a psychosexual power struggle. Sister Maria believed it was her duty to share the divine liquor she believed her own secretions to be. All of this sanctity via immorality took place while Fidel maintained contact with Sister Maria. As the research went on, it was astonishing to find more. Investigation by the Vatican revealed that nuns' presence was not the only reason for the incident. As the investigation progressed, it sadly became clear that there were affairs occurring at the convent between priests and nuns. The Sant'Ambrogio della Massima was unquestionably the scene of a scandal in the middle of the 19th century. Researchers initially came to the Vatican's archival records and papers in 1976. There is counter-argument, meanwhile, that the scandal's scope and repercussions are indicative of the Catholic Church's poor attitude toward women. The Catholic Church continues to uphold the prohibition on women being ordained as priests. According to the Catholic doctrine, priests must uphold the likeness of Jesus Christ. As a result, only male representations are acceptable. Hubert Wolff's tireless efforts and writing have allowed us to notice the disparity in expectations and treatment between nuns and priests within the institution. Nuns were the daughters of Eve in Catholicism's eyes, and they were always subordinate to men in this system. Wolff makes this quite evident. Wolff goes on to say that despite the vivid descriptions of Sister Fidel provided in the testimonies, she had little hope of survival in such circumstances. Driven and pious women were prone to mistrust in their own convent because detention, humiliation, and accusations frequently occurred. You can bet that powerful psychosexual women found it challenging, since powerful women are an unpleasant fixture in the Catholic setup. These are all some of the secrets that's happened, and while revealing the bizarre Nazi documentation. What do you think about this video? Share your comments down below. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching our video. Much more engaging videos will come soon. Till then, take care. Bye.